Hello everyone, welcome back to our channel. In our last video, we have discussed very important strategies that you need to apply while doing the CELPIP reading test, especially in reading correspondence section. Did you all remember that? If not, we'll do a recap and then we'll move on to an example. Are you ready? Let's get started. So the first strategy that we have discussed in our last video for this reading correspondence task is first and last line scan, where you need to quickly identify the core tone by focusing on the first and the last lines of the email, right? And then the next strategy, tone shift detector. Please make a note of it so that it will be very helpful when we are doing the example where you can really apply the strategy. Okay. So the next one is tone shift detector, where you have to watch for the transition words which signal a change in tone midway through the message. And the third strategy is vocabulary watch. So use emotionally charged or softened word choices to detect the writer's tone. And the last one, eliminate the wrong tones or the wrong options. So you can narrow down the answer by eliminating tone options that clearly don't match the message. Got it? So these are the four strategies that we have discussed. Now we have an example here. You can pause the video, read it by yourself. I will also read it for you. The subject line is regarding project proposal deadline. And let me go through this email. Hi, Patrick. I really appreciate your effort in putting together the proposal draft, especially with everything else you have been juggling lately. You have spent time refining the objectives, and the client specific customization is a nice touch. That said, I notice a few sections are still in progress, especially the budget breakdown and timeline. Since the submission deadline is Thursday, could you prioritize finalizing those parts by tomorrow morning? That way, I'll have time to integrate it into the full deck and share it with the review committee by end of the day. Also, one small thing. I noticed a couple of charts still reference last quarter's data. Could you double check and update those before sending the final version? Thanks again for pushing this forward. I know it's a tight turnaround and I truly value your commitment. Best, Sarah. Let's see the first question here. What does Sarah want Patrick to do? And the options here are send the final version by Thursday afternoon, complete and send the budget and timeline by tomorrow morning, postpone the submission deadline, rework the entire proposal from scratch. Now, let me reveal the right option. The correct answer is option B. I'll tell you why. If you scan for the email, we are doing that strategy here, okay? Scanning the email. If you see here, could you prioritize finalizing those parts by tomorrow morning? Because this is what exactly the request is, right? And also, you can use the technique as the elimination strategy. Remember, we talked about the elimination power. So option A is close but incorrect because she needs time to send it by Thursday. So he must submit earlier. And C is not at all mentioned anywhere in the email. And D, of course, it is too extreme. So answer B is the correct option. Now let's move on to our next question. Our next question is, which sentence best shows a gentle correction or request? Thanks again for pushing this forward. Could you double check and update those before sending the final version? I know it's a tight turnaround. The client specific customization is a nice touch. So, four options they have given. And what do you think is the right answer? The option B is the correct answer because if you see the tone spotting here plus intent matching strategy, okay, look for a sentence that softens a correction. If you see here, could you double check, which means it's gentle, indirect, and clearly a polite nudge, right? Whether the options A, C, and D are all supportive or neutral comments. So B fits best. It's a subtle correction. Got it? Now, let's move on to our third question. The third question is, why does Sarah mention the submission deadline? And you have the options here: to criticize Patrick for being late, to explain why she cannot help with the proposal, to justify the urgency in her request, to remind Patrick about how deadlines are set. And here the right answer is option C, because the strategy what we are using here is purpose based inference. She says, since the submission deadline is Thursday, could you prioritize? So that's the purpose based inference, right? So this connects urgency to her request. And if you see the option A is incorrect. No blame is placed. And option B is also false. She is helping with the integration, right? So option B is also false. And option D is unrelated to her intention. Hence, option C is the correct option because it explains the reason for her asking him to act quickly. Now, let's move on to our fourth question. Our fourth question here is, what does Sarah imply by saying, I truly value your commitment? And we do have four options again. She wants Patrick to do more next time. She's compensating for earlier criticism with praise. She's being sarcastic. She genuinely respects his hard work despite issues. And I hope you know the answer for this. The correct option is answer D. Here we are using the strategy emotional interference. If you see the email, the tone is warm. It's not ionic or harsh. Okay, you can see the words like truly, best, which says that it is not sarcastic at all, right? It captures the respectful tone. So option D is the correct answer. Now, the last question here is, which of the following best describes the tone of Sarah's message? So again, here they are asking for the tone. Let's see it. And the options here are warm and constructive, cold and critical, strictly professional and detached, overly casual and vague. And the correct answer is option A. This one, we are using the strategy combo intro, outro, scan plus tone vocabulary plus elimination strategy. Okay, so first line, if you see the first line, I really appreciate your effort, and the last line, truly value your commitment. So both are warm and supportive. And if you see the middle one, the phrases like one small thing, could you, these are constructive tone, right? So option A is the perfect tone match. Others are far off the mark. Got it? All right, champs, let's tie everything together. The correspondence section in self-help reading isn't just about understanding emails. It's about reading between the lines, understanding tone, and picking the most logical response based on who is writing, why they are writing, and how the reader might feel. Think of it like you're reading someone else's inbox. Your job is to figure out what's really going on. Bennett, the polite language, formal compliance. Okay, so that's all for today's video. I hope this video helped you to score more marks in your CELPIP reading. Kindly like, share, and subscribe for more CELPIP reading tips. See you in the next video. Bye bye.